Death Island, the paradise that turned into a nightmare. It's a quiet dawn on Koh Tao, a small island in the Gulf of Thailand. September 15th, 2014. The waves roll softly against the sand. Beach cleaners begin their morning rounds. To anyone watching, it's just another day in paradise. But this morning, paradise would end. A woman cleaning beach stops suddenly. There, half buried in the sand, lies a man's body, face down near the surf. A few meters away, another body. A young woman. Blood stains the sand. A gardening hoe and a wooden club sit nearby. The woman screams. The island's peace shatters. Within hours, the tranquil island of Koh Tao becomes the center of one of Thailand's most shocking crimes. Hannah Witheridge, 23, from England, a speech and language therapy graduate with a bright future ahead. And David Miller, 24, from Jersey, a civil engineer known for his warmth and ambition. They had met just a few days earlier while traveling with friends. Hannah's group stayed at one resort, David's at another, but both on the same stretch of sand, Sairee Beach. By chance, their paths crossed. The group bonded quickly, snorkeling, exploring, laughing over cheap Thai beers. By the night of September 14th, they were inseparable. That evening, they danced and bar-hopped along the beach, posing for photos, sharing stories of home, unaware of what awaited them just hours later. The discovery the next morning, Hannah's body was found near the rocks. She had been brutally assaulted. Her skull fractured. David's body lay in the shallow water, his head crushed, his lungs full of seawater. Nearby, police found used condoms, cigarette butts, and footprints washed half away by the tide. Word spread fast across the island. Tourists panicked. Locals whispered. Someone had murdered 2 foreigners, and nobody knew who. Koh Tao was no stranger to backpackers. But it wasn't equipped for murder. There were only 6 police officers on the entire island. By the time reinforcements arrived, the scene was already compromised. Evidence had been moved. Items collected without gloves. Photos taken too late. Still, the police pressed forward. Their first statement was clear: no Thai person could do this. Attention turned immediately to foreigners and migrant workers. Rumors spread faster than facts. A British friend of David's was detained and accused of jealousy. When that theory collapsed, police shifted focus again. This time to Myanmar migrant workers who cleaned the bars and bungalows. Hundreds of DNA samples were taken. Dozens interrogated. Then, after weeks of chaos, police announced a breakthrough. The suspects, 3 young men from Myanmar, were arrested: Zaw Lin, Win Zaw Hun, and Mong Mong. According to police, they confessed to the crime after being aroused by seeing the couple on the beach. They claimed the men raped Hannah, killed both victims, and fled. DNA evidence, police said, matched samples from the scene. The case was closed, too neatly. But almost immediately, the cracks began to show. Doubt and controversy. Forensic experts questioned how the DNA tests were completed so quickly. Reporters noted inconsistencies in the timelines. Witnesses disappeared. The accused soon retracted their confessions, claiming they had been beaten, tortured, and threatened with death until they confessed. Bruises on their bodies supported their story. Their lawyer said they had no access to translators or legal counsel during interrogation. Still, the police paraded them before cameras, declaring victory. The Thai government called it justice served. But across Thailand and the world, people weren't convinced. Protests erupted. British media questioned the fairness of the trial. Human rights groups demanded transparency. The police, meanwhile, seemed more focused on silencing critics than proving the truth. Inside the courtroom, the trial began in 2015. The prosecution's case relied almost entirely on DNA. But when the defense demanded retesting, the police claimed the samples from Hannah's body were used up. Instead, they tested the murder weapon and discovered the DNA did not match the accused. That should have changed everything. But the court pressed on, citing the overwhelming reliability of the police report, a 900-page document never shared with the defense until the trial had already started. Witnesses were too afraid to testify. Experts like Jane Topin, an Australian forensic scientist, questioned the credibility of the evidence, but she never got the chance to take the stand. On December 24, 2015, the verdict was delivered. Zaw Lin and Win Zaw Hun were sentenced to death. The third man, Maung Maung, was found guilty only of illegal entry. For many, it felt less like justice and more like scapegoating. Rumors of the island mafia beneath Koh Tao's beauty, locals whispered about darker truths. Longtime residents spoke of powerful families, a local mafia, controlling the bars, taxes, and police. Tourists rarely saw this side, but everyone on the island knew who truly held power. Some claimed the victims had argued with a group of Thai men at a beach bar owned by one of these families. Others said the attack may have involved ladyboys from the same bar, a common cover story on the island. Yet, despite repeated calls to investigate, police dismissed every lead pointing toward locals. The Burmese workers, poor, powerless, and easy to blame, became the perfect culprits. A nation divided. The trial left Thailand divided. Government officials doubled down, saying critics were damaging the country's reputation. International outrage followed. British tabloids dubbed Koh Tao Death Island. Tourists cancelled trips. Airlines rerouted package tours. Thailand's image as a tropical paradise took a heavy hit. The Supreme Court upheld the death sentences. In 2017, 3 years later, on the King's birthday, both men received royal commutation to life imprisonment. They remain in Thai prison to this day. As for Koh Tao, it still draws divers, backpackers, and honeymooners. But behind the turquoise water and white sand, the scars remain. Locals still whisper about what really happened that night, about who might have silenced the truth, and who really died for someone else's crime. The case remains a haunting reminder of how justice can drown in paradise. Closing lines. 9 years later, the question lingers. Who truly killed Hannah Witheridge and David Miller? And why did the investigation feel like a story already written? This is Death Island, where paradise hid a nightmare, and 2 innocent lives became victims not just of violence, but of a system built to protect its own.